The Toronto Raptors just made a sneaky good signing. As news has come out, the team has signed DJ Carton, who's a guy that can space the floor. He's really athletic and is a guy that fits that Scottie Barnes young prospect timeline. So we're going to break down what he brings to the table, whether or not he could actually find his footing with this team, and how he fits, because the Raptors now have a ton of guards on this roster. So lots of stuff to break down, but before we dive into that, folks, again, over 56% of our viewers are not subscribed to the channel, and we want to keep you up to date with all of the latest Toronto Raptors news. And back inside, at least, for a video, for sort of some discussion, and news came out today. A little bit of a Shams bomb has dropped, basically indicating that the Toronto Raptors are signing guard DJ Carton to a 10-day contract out of the G League's Iowa Wolves. So Carton's currently averaging close to 19 points and 5.7 assists for Iowa this season, and he's a guy with a really interesting career because he's a guard. Again, looking at his profile just in terms of who he is as a player, right? Born in 2000, 23 years old. He's only 6'2". I've seen him also listed at 6'3" in different places, but plays the point guard position, who, is a position right now the Toronto Raptors do have some guys that play that spot. Obviously, Emmanuel Quickly, a lot of two guards, combo guards on the roster. Scottie Barnes plays a bit of point. RJ can carry the ball up the floor. A bunch of guys have sort of had the ball in their hands for this Raptors group, but more natural point guards are less after we trade away Dennis Schroeder. There is some openings. There are some possibilities for a particular point guard to get some run, to get some opportunities with this team. And DJ Carton is a guy that is a point guard. He does that sort of thing. He's, not one of those combo guards, is a PG, but can space the floor and is also extremely athletic, and as we saw, is still very young. Looking at the course of his career in terms of his stats, he played for Marquette, ended up, jumping to the G League after his time in Marquette, averaging 13 points per game, 4 rebounds and 3 assists in the NCAA. But this season for Iowa has really taken that leap, has just taken a massive jump in terms of his points, in terms of his facilitating. The last 2 seasons for Iowa, he's done a really good job at, setting up his teammates, facilitating out there on the court with 6 assists this year, but 19 points per game, 3 boards, and the efficiency is the thing that we've seen really blossom for this guy. The reason that he's getting this opportunity now with an actual NBA roster, because DJ Carton is putting up some pretty solid percentages out there, for this team. Basically, on his 19 points per game, he's shooting 53% from the field and 41% behind the 3-point line and 80% on free throws. So that efficiency is going to get you some opportunities. That efficiency in the G League is going to get you some, especially at the point guard position, an opportunity to jump up to the big group, jump up to the main league, and show what you're capable of doing. And looking at the highlights of DJ Carton, we see the 3-point percentage, and it's been weird, over the course of his career, 40% for Iowa State in the 2020 season, but then his 3-point percentage dropped, still a high sample size of games, 27 games, dropped to 28%, dropped it to 27% the season after, for Greensboro Swarm, and then for the Iowa Wolves ended up shooting 33%, or 31% his first year, but now that has jumped by 10% in terms of his 3-point shooting ability for this year. So, the development in the jump shot is something that is really encouraging for a young prospect, growing, developing their game. Again, just 23 years old. It's something you love to see, and just looking at who he is out there on the court, what he's able to do, the shooting, the facilitating, that's its own thing. But he's had some nasty dunks. There's a highlight of him, crushing it down on someone in college. He's got some sneaky bounce. He's got some sneaky ups, despite being a guy that's only, 6'2", not the biggest guy out there in the gym. He's not going to be one of those guards that, have a bunch of height or looking over people, but is definitely a player that I think has an opportunity to come in, potentially get minutes, given the lack of an actual true natural point guard we have at the backup position for the Toronto Raptors here now at this point. So I'm intrigued. I'm pumped to see what he's able to do. Just seems like one of those guys that's easy to root for. And again, it's just a 10-day contract, but he shows out. We've seen Raptors players in the past sort of come out and, earn their spots, earn their stripes with these 10-day deals. And the Raptors should be taking flyers on guys that have developed significantly from their time of becoming a professional, moving to the G League. We've seen it from the stats every single season. He's improved, especially the jump shooting, and just players that, maybe are getting overlooked, maybe haven't had that shine. Give them that 10-day contract and see if they shock you. But what does this mean for the Toronto Raptors right now at this point? Because, again, we had 2 signings a couple weeks ago, a week and a half ago, with Justice Winslow as well as Mohamedou Gueye, who both I don't even think they got any run out there for the Raptors. Didn't get any run on the big team. Some people were saying, oh, it's just a way to boost up the 905 players, to reward the 905 players because they get a serious bonus if they get called up to the NBA on a 10-day contract. So they make their money, they make their bread coming up to the big squad. So don't expect probably Gay or Justice Winslow to potentially be a part of the future plans if they're already going after different 10-day guys now, even though Justice Winslow is a player that I think at the forward slot, versatile, plays defense, is a guy I wouldn't mind giving him an opportunity. Again, this is just one 10-day spot, so there are possibilities that these guys get brought back, and we'll see how it all shakes out. Gay is also a dude that is a hustle energy player that, again, I kind of wanted to see them have some shine, have some opportunities on the main squad, because we are in a rebuilding sort of season. We are in a retooling year. We need to see what diamonds we can brush out of the rough in order to grow this team for the future. So the fact that we had a couple 10-day guys and they didn't play is a little bit discouraging, but I'm hoping Carton actually gets an opportunity so we see him out there on the court and show that the development he's shown in the G League could actually translate over into the NBA. But the Raptors right now, they are still loaded at the guard positions. They're focused on building up that backcourt and bringing in guys, again, IQ. Gary Trent Jr. is still on this roster. RJ Barrett's there. Grady Dick's going to be getting a bunch of run. We have guys in the G League now, Marquise Noel as well as Liberty Freeman. I mean, will those guys end up getting some opportunities? We're still waiting for Freeman Liberty to get that sort of run, get that sort of opportunity. But Carton, these 10-day dudes, the same way we've seen in the past with Joe Wieskamps of the world, they are the ones that usually end up getting the opportunities. It's a bigger pool, a bigger sample size to pull from. The stats are very solid. And if you have an athletic guard that can space the floor, that can shoot the three, that is something I'm pretty encouraged to see. But the fact that Toronto Raptors have not bolstered their front court, have not focused on bringing in, a bunch of elite sort of wing defending, then that indicates to me we're not really worried about winning right now. We want some prospects that can come in, not affect the tank. I think the fact that we still, we're Jakob Poeltl injury away from really, really pushing forward this tank, to the end of the year. I think the Raptors, the fact they're going after more guards, they're loading that sort of position up, indicates to me that they're sort of pushing for the bottom once again. They're going in that direction. And it is what it is. I still want to see the Toronto Raptors win some games. That's still my philosophy. That's still how I'm sort of feeling about this team. But I'd like that draft pick too. I want us to win a championship in the future. I don't want us to, be a mid team for years to come. But I don't know. The Raptors, they've had their way in the past about developing prospects, developing guys coming in. Carton could be one of those another success stories, coming in for the Toronto Raptors. So let me know what you guys think of the signing in the comment section down below. Do you think he'll actually get run? Do you think he'll get buried on the bench the same way Justice Winslow or Mamadou Gay did? I want to hear your thoughts on all of that. But it's going to be an interesting way to see these players develop, who blossom sort of the second half of the season, because the Raptors are probably pushing for those lottery balls here now at this point. But I don't know. You guys are the best fingers far. I think I'll be back in the studio for the next video, weather depending, see how travel sort of goes. Might be more airport videos coming, but folks, you guys are the best. I'm signing out. Cheers.